And welcome into Simply the Bets, brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. In just a second, we head out to Vegas. Our buddy Aaron Oster standing by from VSiN to offer us his 5 L's with sports betting this week. Later on in the show, we will go into the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. One of the things we're going to talk about today is cashing out with Leon Twyman. There was a major story in sports betting last night. We are going to talk about how that works. I am a big fan of cashing out. A certain gentleman last night perhaps is regretting his decision to not cash out on what would have been a $25,000 as much as he could have made. He was trying to hold out for $70,000 and needed the Rams to win on the money line. It didn't work out. But we will talk about that with Leon Twyman a little bit later on in the program. Right now, we go to Vegas. Aaron Oster is there. He's with VSiN. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing well. Mixed week for me, but doing well overall.
Yeah, it was a mixed week. So, had the Bills, that was where you thought that was going, was over. They finished with 23 points. That was no good. You like the idea?
A couple red zone turnovers in the Browns-Falcons game cost me.
Yep,
but
big time.
I did end up fading the Dolphins, so that helped.
That was smart. As indeed the Bengals wanted to. The other ones that are relevant. You had a long-term bet back in April on the Mariners plus 194 to make the playoffs. So
there we go.
That one was one that ultimately paid off. It was a long-term bet. If you were in on it, you cashed in on that. I don't remember what the circumstances were on August 16th where you suggested that this is the difficult part. I remember your argument wasn't that the Padres weren't going to make the playoffs. It was more just, why are you making the bet? Aaron on August 16th had his loser bet as the Padres making the playoffs at minus 500. I don't remember what the circumstances are for that, because I feel like saying, hey, don't bet something at minus 500. Well, okay, sure, never bet something at, what are we doing? Betting something at minus 500. I don't remember why that was your loser bet, and in hindsight, what I'm really going to say is that's a dumb loser bet to make. We could pick a minus 500 bet to make every week. Ultimately, if you made it, you still cashed in on that, so you're going to have to take the L on that. That's the way it's going to have to go. I'm sorry. You have to take the L for that one.
Fair enough.
There we go. So, now, every week presents new opportunities. That's what we like to say. We have 5 bets, a local, a long-term, a long shot, a lovable, and a loser bet that Aaron will make for us each week. Let's begin locally. What are you liking?
This is another week where, why is it that the Ravens, I feel like every time I look at the board and I'm just like, really? This line? This feels right. I don't like betting this game, but I got to bet this game. So I guess right now what I'm looking at, the question in the game against the Bengals is simply, can the Ravens get enough pressure on Joe Burrow and make that line crumble like they have in the past? And I'm not sure that they can. I mean, obviously they have talent. They're not getting to the quarterback that often, the Ravens. Not just sacks, but quarterbacks hit. They're in the bottom half of the league in both categories right now. And so when I look at this game, and I don't expect the Bengals line to completely crumble, it's not that I think that the Ravens can't win the game if they don't do that, but I do wonder if they can really blow out the Bengals. I don't know about that. I see the line at +3 right now. It's +3, +3.5 across the board. So just in this game, it's going to be a primetime game. I don't know that the Ravens will blow out the Bengals, so I am inclined to take the points in this one. So give me the Bengals +3.
Okay. What I would really say is, this is my eternal rule, is that whenever you have a good team that's getting points, I tend to just bet that team. But it's more like a if I have to scenario. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wouldn't, my first answer is I would not bet this game. I'd find some other local bet to make this week. I just wouldn't bet this game because if I'm a betting man, you know what I'm betting is going to happen on Sunday? A push. So why am I betting this game? Now, I get the theory. Like, I certainly, I guess I like the Bengals like, I've seen something better from them recently than I have from the Ravens, but they didn't play all that well against the Dolphins team that they, given the circumstances, probably should have taken care of business against. They got the benefit of getting to face Teddy Bridgewater. Like, the best argument that you make is, hey, the Ravens aren't the team to take advantage of the Bengals' offensive line. Completely agree about that.
Yeah.
But it ain't just the Bengals' offensive line that's been an issue so far. I don't like this game. I just don't like betting it. If the line holds at 3, you're probably right. I'll probably just end up betting the Bengals because I'll fall back, or not betting the Bengals, picking the Bengals. I just won't bet this game.
Right.
If the line holds at 3. This one to me is, like, I hate, honest to God, most of the time if it's -3, there's zippy chance I'm betting on the game. For F that noise. That is not for me to bet on. I will find something else to make a bet on if I really want to get some action. I've bet the Ravens in the first quarter each of the last 2 weeks, and that one has paid off for me twice. I got to think about whether or not I go back to that one. I might go back to that one this week. All right, give me the one that you say is the long-term bet, the futures bet that you like the most this week.
So everyone, when thinking about the futures markets, they think of divisions, they think of conferences, they think of Super Bowls, World Series, whatever the championship is in the sport. But one market that goes a little bit underrated is that, especially at FanDuel and a few other books, they keep up win total markets throughout. And those things don't tend to change dramatically when sometimes they should. Plain and simple, the Panthers stink. They're awful. They might be the worst team in football right now.
Good.
I am completely fading the Panthers, and right now their win total, and this is for the entire season, is 5.5 wins. The under is plus money at plus 115. They also have a tough schedule left. I can see maybe 5 more wins on the schedule. They have the Seahawks and Lions, in addition to 2 games with the Falcons and 1 with the Steelers, but I don't think they're going to win all 5 of those. Some of them are on the road. Seahawks is in Seattle. I'm completely out on the Panthers. I think they end up with a top 2 or 3 pick in the draft. I do not think they get to 6 wins overall in this season. So when I'm seeing plus money on under 6 wins or under 5.5 wins, not getting to 6, I'm going to take that. So give me that at plus 115.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Like, the best argument I can make is, Matt Corrals is done for the year, correct? Like, he can't come back at any point?
As far as I know, no. Like, they don't have that quarterback sitting unless you think Sam Darnold is going to make a big difference. They don't have that.
We know Sam Darnold's not the answer. So the only thing that would scare me about that bet is if at some point they just said, "Oh, the hell with it, we play the young quarterback," and the young quarterback is inspired and goes and wins a game or 2 that you weren't expected them to win, and then it kind of throws everything into upheaval because this is still the NFL. Even the bad teams typically win a couple of games, right? So if I say that the baseline is they're going to win 3 to 4, like they're going to win 4 games, right? That's a baseline, and that's under 5.5. And I probably decline to agree with you based on how bad they look, and the fact that at some point they're going to shut down Christian McCaffrey because that's the way that this works. So,
and by the way, Corral is on season-ending injury.
Right, so he can't come back at all. That would be the only argument for me that would scare me off of it is at some point if they had a young quarterback they could put into play and he accidentally inspires the team and he cares and the whole thing, then you could end up in a little bit of trouble because they could win 2 more games that they weren't supposed to win and go 6-11 and you're screwed. But with there being no option for that, I'm kind of with you. Like, at some point, they're going to be forced to go back to Sam Darnold. And, like, we know that's why it was so embarrassing that they were calling it a quarterback competition to begin with. There's no debate left. Like, no matter how many times people want to go back to how much they believed in Sam Darnold going into the end. Like, it's amazing how this works. There are so many people that didn't believe in Lamar Jackson, so no matter what he does, they got to be hell-bent on, but I'm still not sure. And the same thing happens on the other side, where people believe so much in Sam Darnold that no matter how bad it looks, you have to try to convince yourself, well, if he could just get somewhere else or be around some other coach or something like that, we could still make it work with Sam Darnold. No, you can't. It's like pretending that Jameis Winston can still be a thing this deep into his career. We've got all of the evidence. I know that every now and then there's one of these things that creeps up, a Ryan Tannehill story, something like that. It is extraordinarily rare, but every now and then there is no reason to think we've got the answer on Sam Darnold. They're going to have to play him again at some point. Baker Mayfield is a disaster. I mean, it's
he's worse. Like that. That's the only thing is like even if Sam Darnold is bad, is it possible that Baker has been even worse?
Oh, 100% it's possible. I mean, he's been
Yeah.
disastrous. So at some point, I still think they have to ride it out with Baker for another game or two because, like,
Oh, yeah, it's not going to happen soon. It's probably more than a game or two, unless it's just really,
well, I
really
mean, if it stays
bad,
like this, I don't know that it has to be more than a game or two. This is ungodly what we're seeing. So they got to do that for a little while. But then they're going to have to go back to Sam Darnold. But that's not going to do anything. Sam Darnold stinks. He's terrible.
Yep.
So I'm actually in agreement with you on this one. I am in agreement with you. I don't see the path. And the likelihood is they might try to move a player or two. I guess the only other thing is if they fire Rule, or if he quits to try to go get a college job, and there's someone on his staff that the players really like. I think we saw this with Perry Fuel a couple years ago as an interim coach.
Yeah.
Like there's somebody on.
But there was talent on those teams. Like I just don't know that there's the talent.
I understand that, but there is something about, like, if an interim coach gets an opportunity and you believe in that guy and you want to do something for that guy, that, like, you get something out of the team at that point. But yeah, in general, I'm with you. What's your long shot? What's your underdog this week?
I'm going to mix things up and go off of football for my long shot. And baseball playoffs are starting this week. I'm starting to look at that, starting to look at the market, and kind of where I'm at right now with the baseball playoffs is the Astros are going to roll through the AL. I'm fairly confident about that. I don't really believe in the Yankees as an AL champion. The NL, on the other hand, is far more wide open. So I'm looking, if FanDuel has a few interesting, obviously they have the NL winner, they have the AL winner, they have the World Series winner, but then they have a bunch of exotics on top of that. One thing they have is exact World Series results. So I fully believe in the Astros, not just winning the AL. I think they're going to win the World Series this year. It'll be a great story with Dusty and Trey Mancini and everything else. But the NL is a little bit more wide open. I actually don't fully believe in the Dodgers. So I'm looking at the hottest team right now in baseball. That's the Atlanta Braves. Mm-hmm. So I can get the Astros over the Braves in the World Series at 13-1. I actually really like those odds, and I'm taking those. So there's my long shot, Astros over the Braves.
I get it. It's a little bit weird that we're being dismissive of the best team in baseball, but I understand they've had enough playoff issues, and I can understand it. They've had some specific playoff issues with the Braves, right? So I can certainly understand why it is that we would like that. And at the number, I get what you're saying. If you really like the Astros, here's an opportunity to get them at 13-1. I don't hate it as an underdog bet. I don't hate
as a long
that
shot
bet, right? I don't think I would make it, but I don't hate the idea. Aaron Oster is with us from VSiN out in Vegas. All right, the one that you say, whatever you do anything at all this week, but do not make this bet. What's the loser bet for the week?
Honestly, I should have been giving this out the past week or two, but I've had a couple other ones that I've liked better as a loser bet. But this is an overall concept and applies specifically to one scenario here. In general, when someone is approaching history, whether it's a team, whether it's a player, bettors know people want to bet on history. They want to bet on human achievement, and they will tax you heavily for that. We've seen that with Aaron Judge over the past 2 weeks, with the betting a home run in each individual game taxed absurdly. You're seeing it at as low as like plus 150 at times. You are never, ever going to get value for betting on any sort of history, but in this case, Aaron Jones to bet a home run. Even today, even though we know that, he's not getting very many pitches to hit, it's very likely he won't hit it.
I'm pretty sure you just said Aaron Jones, by the way. And
Did I say Aaron Jones?
I understand it's a complicated time of year where we're talking about multiple different scores.
Aaron Judge, apologies. Right now, in the first game of the doubleheader, he's plus 215. No one is ever plus 215 to hit a home run. You are never getting value there. Do not bet the yes on Aaron Judge to hit a home run in any of these individual games. Just don't do it. You're not getting value. And I know he might hit a home run, and I know maybe eventually, MLB saying, hey, you got to give him something to hit here.
I don't think
but
it's
you're
major.
just not getting the.
I'm more convinced that there's somebody else. There's a third party involved. Like that there's someone who's a Yankees sponsor or who can profit off of Aaron Judge, Fanatics, somebody like that.
Yeah.
That gets involved and gets a hold of a pitcher. And, like, I know this is some tinfoil hat stuff, but, like, dude, seriously.
I think there's something.
These games don't actually matter. Like, there's at some point somebody says, I get why the Orioles are still kind of trying to compete this weekend, even after they were eliminated on Friday. Getting to 82 wins is a big deal for the Orioles, and they still cared about that. So they were still going to compete over the course of the weekend. But the Rangers don't have who cares? At some point, I'm convinced that someone says to them, dude, there's $50,000 in it for you if you would just toss a handball up there for me.
Well, shoot, if you think back to when Bonds was approaching Aaron, Mike Bassett, the Nationals pitcher, I mean, he's gotten to sign so many photos, get to charge so much money for grooving a pass. And by the way, he grooved that 100%. Sucker. I just remember.
Yeah, but that was. But also keep in mind that was a real record. Like that actually was a real. Oh well,
thing. No, I understand. Well, people are treating this as real for whatever. I'm with you, by the way. Like whoever throws this pitch will be able to sign autographs for it for a while.
Maybe they will. Maybe. I mean, let's not try to pretend like Mike Bassett got wealthy out of it. Like I don't think that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he got. Every time I go to a convention, I see his autograph.
I think that is a tougher sell than somebody just walking in and being like, dude, here, just. I'm not telling you to throw the game. Just $50,000 if you toss a meatball up there for me. Like. I think that's a very.
But which game's that going? Also, which game's that going?
Yeah, I hear you. Like, well, I mean, I don't think tonight's not on national TV. Keep that in mind. There is no national TV broadcast for tonight's game, so the afternoon game actually would make more sense than the night game would. Keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. I assume I haven't looked at the schedule. I don't know if tomorrow's game's on national TV or not. But I know that.
If nothing else, they'll cut in on every channel.
That's the thing. I don't know if they can because there are like rules when there is another national TV window. So tonight, TBS is showing Phillies Astros, and I'm pretty sure when there's another national TV window, you might not be allowed to show the cut. There's some goofy rule about that. There's some goofy rule related to like if it's only a game on MLB Network, like you can cut in. But if there's a Fox Saturday night or a ESPN Sunday night or a TBS Tuesday night or I think even an Apple Friday night, you're not allowed to show cut-ins of games on any network. So I don't know how that all works. I have no clue. I'm not going to pretend. Nor do I care. Like I get it, but just interesting.
Anyway, the bigger overall point is you're going to be taxed for betting on human history.
I hear you. By the way, this is the last scheduled national TV game for the Yankees at 2:00. Neither of the last two games are scheduled to be on national TV. All right, and give me your one that you say immediately. Race there. Make this bet. I love it.
So I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm not going to say necessarily race here. I really like this bet, but I think if you wait, you might be able to get it at a slightly better number. So keep an eye on it. But if it doesn't move, I'm more than happy to play it at this number. And that's the Dolphins right now are -3.5 at the Jets. The game was -6 in the look-ahead market before Tua's injury. It's dropped to 3.5, and I think it looks to be teetering to drop to 3. So really the question is, how much worse is Teddy Bridgewater than Tua? Is there really a 3-point drop-off between the two? I'm not sure there is. Teddy, is one of the best quarterbacks ATS in all of football. He's 42-21 ATS. Now, granted, most of those come as underdogs because of people. He's usually the backup, so they're usually dinging him. But I think he's still a capable quarterback. I think this line, knowing that it was 6 before the injury, should be a little higher. I think it should be closer to 4.5, maybe even 5. So, like I said, I'm not telling you to race out because I do think you might be able to find a 3 at some point during the week. And if it gets to 3, then I absolutely race out because it's not getting lower than 3. But overall, I think the Dolphins are a better team. I think Teddy is capable. I don't think there is a 3-point drop-off from Tua to him. So I like the Dolphins at -3.5.
All right, very good. We will get them up on Twitter. Remind everybody what's going on with VSiN.
We have our NHL guides out. Our NBA guides should be coming out in the next week or two. So keep your eye out for that, and you can find everything over at VSiN at VSiN.com.
Very good. He is Aaron Oster at the Oster on Twitter. Appreciate you, pal. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Hope everyone hits their bets.
He is then out in Vegas. I don't know how I feel about that 2-1. I really don't. The Dolphins one. I actually think they might be 3 points worse with Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback, but I don't feel strongly about it.
Still think they should win. It's in New York?
Yes.
I was just looking at it. Hold on.
Double check that.
It is in New York.
It's in New York.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they should win. If the number got down below 3, I would very much be inclined to make that bet. Everything above 3, I am a little bit more torn about that. All right, when we come back in, let's head to the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino in Hotel Maryland. I want to talk about cashing out because someone didn't do a good job of that and cost themselves a lot of money in the process. Our buddy Leon Twyman joins us next. This is Simply the Bets. Have you been to Guilford Hall Brewery? Located in Baltimore's Station North neighborhood, Guilford Hall Brewery breaks the craft brew mold with their great handcrafted microbrews and amazing Bavarian-style food selections. Join Guilford Hall 7 days a week for Orioles, Ravens, and all of your favorite college games. Make plans now to watch the big games, play trivia, or bring your dog for Yappy Hour. They even have free valet service on Friday and Saturday nights. Go to guilfordhall.com for a complete schedule of events, beer listings, and food and drink specials. We'll see you at Guilford Hall Brewery.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
What's up, everyone? This is Tyus Bowser, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm back for Season 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show in partnership with PressBox and Great H Memorabilia. Join us on Tuesday nights throughout the season as I'll be heading all over town with my special guests. And of course, our co-hosts, Glenn and Rita. Or is it Rita and Glenn? What is it? I look forward to meeting you guys and talking a little bit about football and a lot about life. And if you happen to miss the show, you can now catch a replay Friday nights on 105.7 The Fan. Get all of your details for the Tyus Bowser Show right now at PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser.
The next Tyus Bowser Show is Tuesday, October 4th at 7 p.m. at Guilford Hall Brewery, 1611 Guilford Avenue in Station North. It's brought to you by Maryland Vascular Specialists and the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill.
The 2022 baseball season is in full swing, and the future is brighter than ever for your Baltimore Orioles. I'm Paul Valley.
And I'm Zach Goodman.
And together we bring you the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon with everything you need to know about the Orioles and baseball as a whole. From veterans like Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Ryan Mountcastle,
to young stars like Adley Rutschman, Grayson Rodriguez, and DL Hall.
We've got you covered for every game, every pitch,
and every debut.
You can watch us at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, or you can listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. So join us live on the Bat Around every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon right here at PressBox Sports.
Glory Days Grill's Oktoberfest menu is now running. It's one of their most popular seasonal menus all year. It features the chicken schnitzel, the Oktoberfest brewer's platter, the brewer's sausage sandwich, the Bavarian burger with a pretzel bun, the cheddar ale soup, the slam dunk pretzels, and the apple cobbler. All of these meals pair well with Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. Dine in or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and pick up your favorites to take home. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Check out Jeremy Kahn's daily picks at PressBoxOnline.com as he tries to find you daily winners. And speaking of winners, here's a man who once won a media curling contest, and I don't think anything else. He's Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on Simply the Bets, brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino in Hotel Maryland, where indeed you can register a $25 futures bet on the Super Bowl to win a pair of tickets to the Super Bowl. You just got to go to FanDuel.com/SBNAZ in order to get that bet registered. Any $25 Super Bowl futures bet, you can register to win tickets to the Super Bowl in Arizona. FanDuel.com/SBNAZ. Let's head to the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland right now, where our buddy, General Manager Leon Twyman, is standing by. Leon, what's going on, man?
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I want to have a conversation with you this week. I want to talk about cashing outs.
Okay.
Are you familiar of the story of the kid that was trying to finish a 15 for 15 parlay last night, was offered $25,000 to cash out, held out for $70,000, and the Rams lost? Are you familiar with this story?
Oh, I'm very familiar. When I saw it on Twitter around the 17 or 18,000 cash out mark,
yeah,
I was like, yeah, just take that money. They're not going to win. Take the money.
Taylor Denny is this young man's name. $74,000 at stake. He tweets this morning, I don't know that I really owe anyone any explanation on why I am the way I am, but I will say that this is not my first double-digit parlay I've lost on a Monday night game, and even though people believe it will be, it won't be my last. I don't know what Mr. Denny has going on in his life. I don't know if he's independently wealthy or he has rich parents or something like that. I can't believe, like, the moment you come to me and say, I have 23,000 American dollars for you, if you will bail, I say, thank you. Thank you for that kind offer. I am bailing. Now, I want to talk about this in context, though, Leon, because, you know, wherever this guy was playing from, he was on an app, and so he got the offer. In Maryland, of course, we still don't have mobile betting. How does this work? Like, if I were to go bet a parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland today, and, like, it was a crazy parlay, a 10-leg parlay, and the first 6 legs were to come through, at what point might there be a cash-out offer that would be there? And how does that work when it's not quite the same as betting through an app where you could just get like a push notification of what the cash offer would be?
So the unfortunate thing about that is not in retail. So you have to ride it out completely.
Wow. You make a parlay bet in Maryland right now, there is no option for you to cash out at any point.
Correct.
Boy. Can you paint the picture for what it would look like elsewhere? Like, just to inform us about, like, if we were somewhere where it was an option, like, what is the scenario? How many legs have to hit before there might be a cash-out option?
You know, honestly, I'm not sure of a retail location that even offers that right now. I've been to plenty of books in the area, and I don't think any book in this area offers that. I'm not sure if that's something that maybe Jersey or Vegas offers at all.
Right.
But I'm almost certain it's more of an online thing versus a retail.
It's only for online. It's only for online that something like that would happen. That's interesting to me, right? Like, so there's no ability for someone to walk up to you and be like, "Hey, Leon, you know, you might be on the hook for $150,000. I'll let you out of it for $50,000." Like that, it's just not an option.
Right. Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
Wow. I did not know that. I learned something today about betting. And maybe it's something that you go into when you think about making these parlay bets. You have to understand, in Maryland, legitimately all of them have to hit. There is no option for you to be a winner unless you have every leg of the parlay hit.
Yeah, that parlay, man, that's just unreal. Yeah, like I said, when I first saw that early on in the week, I was like, there's no way the Rams are going to close that out for him. No way possible.
That's unbelievable. I cannot believe a human being was offered $25,000 in cash, and he was just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, you know, I'll just pass because maybe it could be more. Yes, maybe it could. But $25,000 on, like, and it was like a $10 bet, right? Like,
yeah, $10 wager.
Had a chance to make $25,000 on a $10 bet, and he just said, "Nah, no thanks. See you guys next time." Unbelievable turn of events. All right, how'd the book do this week, Leon?
So, I mean, we still did okay. We were doing very well up until the Dallas game, where we took a pretty big beating, which brought down our hold. So, you know, to me, that's a good thing because I'm a Dallas fan,
Yeah,
so I like to see it.
I'm aware.
Love to see it happen.
So what were the other, like, what went well for you guys this weekend?
Pretty much everything was good, especially the Bills Ravens game. That helped us out a lot.
So what was the final? Because when we got it, it was 3, so that was a push. What was the final line?
I believe the last time I saw it was 3.5.
So obviously the Ravens did not cover that, and I'm presuming that most everybody around here was betting the Ravens.
Correct.
So that worked out really well for you guys, that you end up having them miss at 3.5. You jerks. You terrible people, you. How dare you feel good about that, Leon Twyman? How dare you think that is a good win? I'm assuming that for the most part, give me an idea of what kind of action you're seeing coming in. This one's one that fascinated me. It was somebody that asked me about this. Are you guys getting people coming in and betting Aaron Judge home runs game by game?
I haven't really. That's not something that really stands out to me, honestly. So, especially right now with the football season underway, I've been seeing just a lot more NFL bets versus baseball bets. Like, we still get plenty of baseball bets, but nothing with baseball has really been standing out.
I'll tell you what's been good for me. Last 2 weeks have hit Ravens in the first quarter. Each of the last 2 weeks were winners for your pal GC over here.
No, that's a solid one.
Yeah. Might need to keep riding. Although I'm worried about, like, maybe a little bit of the hangover effect from this past week. I'm debating whether or not I ride with it for a third straight week. But it has been profitable for your boy Ravens. Their collapses have come in the second half. Like, the first halves have all been very good, and the numbers haven't moved all that significantly on the Ravens in the first quarter. So I've been happy about that. In fact, I got them at a great number last week. No, I got them a great number this week against the Bills. They were dogs in the first quarter against the Bills, so I was very pleased with that. What else have you been noticing? What other trends? What else have you been seeing people hammer? What specific football bets have been interesting to you?
It's a lot of just same game parlays. Like, that's where we get a lot of our action at. So come in, pick a game you like, and just hammer it with prop bets from that same game. That's what we've seen a lot of.
All right,
and we've actually been seeing a lot of people hammer some correct scores. So we had another person hit a correct score last week.
Do you remember what game it was? It couldn't have been the Seahawks-Lions 48-45 game, right? Like, there's no way.
That would have been wild.
Yeah, right? That was a scoregami, in fact. It was the first ever 48-45 game.
I could only imagine what the odds would have been on that.
Right?
That would have been insane.
Plus $1 billion to get 48-45.
Yeah, something crazy. So this correct score that we had was for the Giants game. So Giants 20, Bears 12.
That's still a little bit of an odd score, man. Like,
it is.
That's crazy.
And the ticket has not been cashed yet, so I'm not sure what they're waiting on, or if they realize that they wagered that. But it was $85 to win $23,000.
Jesus, it's another one. Imagine just holding on to a $23,000 ticket. Like, imagine just being like, "Yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it when I get to it." Let me make this promise: if I ever win a bet like that at the FanDuel Sportsbook, I will be there 10 seconds. I'll be the guy complaining that the computer has not yet recognized that the game has gone final. I'll be the guy screaming bloody murder at your poor window, at the teller. I'll be the poor teller at the window is going to be like, "I'm sorry, sir, just give me a minute. We have not updated it yet in the system." Get it updated now! I'll be that guy. You'll be like, "Glenn, dude, chill. We're friends." It's a promise to me that it'll play out that way. I mentioned before you came on, you guys are still doing the Super Bowl promotion?
That is correct. That is going to be going all the way until January. So, again, place a $25 or more futures bet on the Super Bowl at plus 300 odds, which all of them are over that right now. And you have a chance to win 2 tickets to the Super Bowl in Arizona.
It's amazing. The website is FanDuel.com/SBNAZ for you to find out more and for you to register that $25 bet that you make. I know we were adding kiosks. Are they all in place just yet?
Not just yet. We're waiting for those to get sent out. And then we will have those in place hopefully sometime in the next couple weeks.
Like that. So
they should be in place.
So it'll be up to 67, correct, is the number when it's all said and done?
That is correct, with our 20 bet pads and our 10 windows. Just insane.
Could not make it any easier for you, even on busy days. But I still encourage everybody, when you have busy days, busy Sundays, primetime football games, college football Saturdays, you still want to email events@sportssocialmd.com in order to make sure you have reserved your table, your reclining chairs for hanging out, watching, and betting on games in the FanDuel Sportsbook. Leon Twyman, appreciate you as always, pal. Let's talk again next Tuesday, all right?
All right, sounds good. Have a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Leon Twyman, general manager of the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. I perhaps stole some of Griffin's thunder because this was the biggest story in all of sports betting this week, is this young man, Taylor Denny is the young man's name. I'm assuming that perhaps he was going to make an appearance in,
for sure.
Tidbet. It's just way too big of a story for me to wait on it.
Yeah. He had a $10K cash out option at halftime of the game while they were down 8, I think.
And I want to say Bleacher Report wanted to turn it into content.
Yes, they were like following him around.
Bleacher Report sent him and his friends out to Vegas last night to film him as he was watching the game. So, I was seeing all of that sort of come across my feed as the night was going on. Like, they were reacting with him as the game was being played, and it ended up being kind of painful to watch. The guy, was acting cool about it the entire time. I'm guessing maybe he pocketed a little bit of cash from Bleacher Report.
Right, that's what I would think.
In the process, they showed it. They
did
a video.
He at least got a free trip to Vegas. I
Right,
guess.
he got a free trip to Vegas out of it, which is cool. They showed a video where apparently Bleacher Report also offered to invite him and his friends back to Vegas for the NFL playoffs.
Wow.
So, he's gotten enough out of it that probably. It's still pain. The dude still lost $74,000, right? But probably enough that he's able to sleep at night. He's not going to be suicidal. There was somebody another account that tweeted out send a GIF of your reaction if you had lost out on a $74,000 bet. And I was like, are you asking for people to talk about suicide? Is that? It's a pretty dark. I know that all we do is engagement on Twitter anymore. But, that's a pretty dark place to go. When you're thinking about that tweet, how do you not realize what it is that you're saying? Man, I got to avoid that one.
There was somebody who had a similar bet or almost the exact same, but he only put $1 on it, so the payout was $17,000. But he cashed out before Monday Night Football, and he was talking about how he has kids, and he's like, you know what, if I was a young kid, I would want to ride too. So he was defending the kid for riding it out, and yeah,
They had a video after. Remember, the Niners were up by 8, and they were 14-6, and they had a reasonable field goal attempt, Robbie Gould, to go ahead by 2 scores. And it was not a 50-yarder. I don't remember how long it was, but he missed it.
Right.
And they had video. This is the BR betting page. They have video of the kid because they were watching the game at the Stadium Swim in Vegas. They have video of the dude, and he is losing his mind when Robbie Gould misses the field goal. Hell yeah, we're back in it. And then, the next video is after the pick 6, and he's whatever he was given to that is making him feel better. Whatever his compensation was, you can see he had to get up and walk away. Had to go walk it off. He was not. It was still impacting him losing $74,000 last night. You can turn Micah's mic on.
That's a roller coaster of a day.
I mean. You got to go to Vegas, you got the, you got all that, but man,
all his friends have their arms around him. They're like, "It's all right, dude.
Right?
All right. It's all right.
Please, whatever you do, because this is the other thing too. You also know how a night can turn, and you don't you understand why they're dejected, but you're still in Vegas, and you don't want this to turn into guy just gets drunk and becomes an a-hole for the rest of the night, and you got to deal with it. You still want there to somehow be a pleasant evening, so you're thinking about him, but you're also really thinking about yourself. You're like, hey, man, yeah, I'm so sorry. hey, why don't maybe some nice chicken tendies, right? Who doesn't enjoy
a good chicken tendy in a situation like this, huh? Maybe we wander down to the old burlesque show or something. Like, whatever. I don't know what you do in that moment, but you're definitely, as much as you're thinking about your buddy, you're definitely thinking about yourself, and you're envisioning how this night is about to go and what your night is going to be like, and is it going to be awkward for you, and are you going to end up, is the guy going to end up trying to fight everyone? Like, how quickly does this go from cheeky to dark? And I think we all have friends like that we can be having a fun night, but in one fell swoop, one thing can go wrong, and suddenly you're like, oh, that dude might throw a glass bottle at another human being.
Well,
like,
good news is this guy does not seem to be that dude.
He seems to be okay.
Yes.
He seems to be all right, despite losing $74,000.
Yes.
Want to make this abundantly clear? Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Could not. I have talked about this ad nauseum. I, in fairness, I wouldn't have even gotten to $23,000. I would have cashed out like the first offer.
After the 1 o'clock window?
$10, exactly right. First results start coming in, and that push notification
then why are you even making a
$15
15-leg parlay?
in the opportunity to get this?
Okay.
The first push notification comes up on my $10 bet, and they're like, we're going to give you $1,000. Thank you.
Yeah. I'd see
Thank you.
I'd see the cost of like 3 Chipotle bowls, and I would
right,
just
you're
like,
good.
cash out.
Mike is also a college student, so he's in a little bit of a different place. But like, it wouldn't be that much more for me. Like, I'm doing the simple math of this ticket cost me $10. I'm thinking about however many other bets I made that week. So really what it comes is, when do I come out on top? So if this is the only bet he made all week, well, then it wouldn't take much. But I'm going to guess if you're playing a $10 15-leg parlay, he probably made some other bets this week. So you figure out that I make $300 worth of bets, then I need to come out on top. If I get a $500 offer, I'm in because I'm a winner now. That's the way that's going to go. So, yeah, I'm definitely cashing out far quicker. I never would have gotten to $24,000. And you can all make fun of me and be like, well, think about what you could have had. No, I'll think about what I have. That's how I'll operate. Anything else?
Someone put together a anytime touchdown scorer parlay that was plus 1160, and they did all the Joshes, Josh Allen, Josh Reynolds, and Josh Jacobs to score because they thought it would be funny, and it hit, so it paid out for him.
I mean, I saw that on Twitter, and I just thought, why not? Like, why? Yeah, sure, go for it.
The logic checks out.
Yeah, go for it.
I like
to hope it was someone named Josh.
Right.
Like, I'd like to hope
so.
it wasn't just a rant. Like,
had to be
somebody named Craig who was like, I'm going all in on the Joshes. Like, this is way cheekier if it's just like, they have my same name.
So Cooper Kupp had scored a touchdown in 12 of the Rams' last 13 games going into last night.
Whew.
So that was at even money for him to score a touchdown. So DraftKings decided to boost it to plus 150.
Yeah.
So if you think betting's not rigged,
maybe
it is, because he, of course, didn't score when they boosted the odds of that.
Interesting.
Tempted people to jump on it, which I'm sure they did.
Oh, I bet they were.
Yes.
By the way, thank you to George Kittle for getting dysentery right at the moment where he was about to catch a touchdown. That's how I won.
You won?
I won specifically because George Kittle couldn't get his second foot down in the end zone. Remember, it was initially called a touchdown, and I was like, well, that's that. Like, it was a fun ride, but I was still going to be up by like a point, but he did catch another ball later in the game, so I would have lost. I literally won last night because George Kittle couldn't get his second foot down in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, in my league with George Kittle, I still lost by 100 points because they also had the Niners defense. Well, I was already down by 80.
I actually took a screenshot to send. It was my friend Ryan Schell, former producer of the show, of my show, and now at the WBAL. I was playing against him in this particular league, and I decided to send a screenshot.
Because you held him off.
What's that?
You held him off because he had George Kittle?
He had George Kittle.
Right. Okay.
He had George Kittle, and so I took a picture
before and after
when it was a touchdown. Like, I took a screenshot because I was ready to send out a tweet. Well, that's that. And instead, they showed the replay really quickly, and I was like, oh. So I took a screenshot directly before and directly after it was not a touchdown.
That's big for you. Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations, I guess.
Great news for me.
Yeah.
Not great for George Kittle anytime touchdown bettors. Not great for them.
But with the NBA preseason basketball, the Suns were playing the Adelaide 36ers.
Ah, yes.
And they lost. In the preseason
People are trying to make
game.
this like a big deal. I didn't watch. I'm a Suns fan.
Did
they play their players in the game?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Did they try to win?
They played all their starters.
But for how long?
I think the whole first quarter, and they were
Really?
losing.
Okay, I mean, but are they trying, or are they just out there participating?
If you watch the highlights recap, the 36ers ball movement was
good for them.
out of control.
Good for them.
Well,
So
their
this is the
Super Bowl.
This is the screenshot when it shows George Kittle with 10 points, and at that point, he is 1 point behind me, and George Kittle did catch, but he did catch another ball, and so he would have won. And then 2 seconds later, that's the screenshot of him
dropped
going
back
back
down.
to 3 points. 3 points for the game at that point, and me surviving last night.
But the person who bet on the 36ers, they bet it so that they would win. The payout would be $36. They were like,
maybe you should bet a little more. Maybe you should have tried for $36,000.
They probably didn't have a lot of
faith in the
in
36ers,
the Adelaide 36ers.
Yeah, right.
Drake put $200,000 down on a 3-leg parlay that would have paid $2 million, but his first leg missed. He had the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Cowboys, so he only went 1 for 3.
Yikes!
I feel like Drake has a betting problem.
Yeah, but he's also
I know. Yeah, he's also
wealthy,
the richest
so,
person
I'm
ever.
not
so I
going
guess
to worry too much about old Drake.
And then finally, actually, I got 2 more. Thursday Night Football. Someone hit the first touchdown exacta. So the first 3 touchdowns they got correct.
Okay.
Mixon, then Edmonds, then T. Higgins. It was 600 to 1. They put $5 down and won 3,000.
Damn. I'm surprised that's actually all that paid out. That's an unbelievable bet, man.
Yeah.
God.
And then finally, Kansas football. They are 5-0. Their win total before the season, do you know what it was?
I'm going to guess 3.5.
It was 2.5.
2.5.
So they've already doubled that. They're 5-0. Also 5-0 against the spread. However, the last time they were 5-0 to start a season, 2009, they lost their next 7 games. They went 5-7.
All right.
But they are +7 underdogs at home against TCU. I kind of like them.
College game day is going to be there.
I
cool
I
story.
kind of like that a lot.
All right. Very good. Very good. No weekend at bookies this week, so we will see you again next Tuesday for Simply the Bets. Presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Get down there this week. Email events@sportssocialmd.com in order to reserve your spot for watching and betting on games. May the odds be ever in your favor.